Throughout my life, science has been my favorite subject, and since the beginning, it has had its hooks in me. When I first discovered Dr. Stone, I was amazed at how the show was able to capture my love of science so perfectly. From Chrome's collection and excitement over rocks mirroring my younger self almost identically, to Senku's love of space and making things work, mirroring me now. Not only does the show capture why I love science, it also highlights how humanity benefits from it. By setting the show in the Stone Age where things like medicine, power, and even running water have yet to be invented. By highlighting how primitive the world is, it shows the audience how much technology helps us in our daily lives. Take light bulbs, for example. Many of us take them for granted, as there are hundreds of them, lighting up nearly everything on Earth. Dr. Stone illustrates how much goes into making a light bulb by doing it step by step. Not only do we see how it's made, but we also get to struggle with Senku as not everything works on the first try, allowing the show to show us how innovation works in science. Dr. Stone makes science a superpower, elevating it from the mundane subject people often think of it as, into something people can truly get excited about. When I was 5 or 6, I found a fossil. It wasn't just a plant imprint, nor was it a full-on bone, but it was the footprints of a dinosaur that had been preserved for millions of years. The sheer amount of time that had passed between when they were made and the present was mind-bogglingly huge to my younger self. It was a very humbling experience to know how long life had existed on Earth, and it made me wonder about what life must have been like for the creatures of that time. I later found out that the town I was in was at one point a prehistoric lake where dinosaurs would come and drink. Time had dramatically shifted the area of what was once a lake, making it into a hilly area that had been pushed up over millions of years by the massive tectonic plates that make up the Rocky Mountains. Although the movement of tectonic plates is slow, only moving an average about 2 inches per year, when applied over thousands or even millions of years, the change is dramatic. This slow march of progress is very similar to humanity's own progress in the fields of science. The human brain isn't very good at making completely new ideas. What it is good at, however, is remixing ideas it already has into new things. Because of this, humans often rely on information created in the past to move forward. That, in its essence, is what science is. The remixing of ideas over time to create new, more complex ideas that in time will be remixed and used in other ideas. This remixing is frequently used in Dr. Stone, with things like the calcium carbonate or even the iron coming back in different devices. This allows Senku to go from having nothing to building a hydroelectric generator towards the end of Season 1. This also encourages the viewers of the show to remember each invention, because it may come back later in future episodes. One thing Dr. Stone excels at is teaching complex topics in a way that makes them extremely simple to understand. Its roadmaps act as a simplified step-by-step guide to building the ARC's latest invention. While the science of Dr. Stone is extremely accurate, it never feels boring. Instead, it makes the viewer get excited every time an advancement is made. Part of this comes from the character's investment and need of said device, while the other part comes from the emotional value created by the show's prehistoric setting. One of the most emotionally charged scenes in the show is in the final arc of this season, when Senku discovers a recording made by his father, who has now been dead for thousands of years. Using parts from their newly created telephone, Senku fashions a record player and listens to the message his father has given him. Hearing the needle hit the record and the voice of Senku's father playing never fails to give me goosebumps. After a short message, his father says goodbye to Senku for the last time, sending him away with a song that not only captures the hearts of the villagers, but also puts into perspective how much humanity has lost. Thousands of years worth of books, music, and games were destroyed by the passage of time, leaving only Senku with his scientific knowledge able to bring a fraction of it back, by reviving the people of Earth from their petrified state. This emotional weight contributes heavily to the stakes of the show, and has many fans very excited about the upcoming Stone Wars arc planned to release next January. The artwork of Dr. Stone is extremely detailed, with backgrounds convincingly able to sell that characters live in an untouched version of Japan. But what really astounds me is the detail in the science with things like glass blowing not only looking good, but also accurate to the real world. The amount of detail in the show is really uncanny, with things as small as the rehydrator from the International Space Station being not only present, but also true to real life in its design and function. This attention to detail helps ground Dr. Stone in reality in an otherwise fantastical setting. Their attention to detail goes so far as to even give the real recipe for gunpowder, although with a warning to the audience that making it is in fact dangerous. In most shonen anime like Naruto or Bleach, power escalation is a huge problem, with characters growing from the weakest state to almost godlike power by the end of the show. This problem won't affect Dr. Stone, however, because of its basis in real-life science. His power is bound by the laws of reality, and because of this, the show will most likely not have a problem with power scaling. Instead, I foresee the show finding new, more creative ways to beat its enemies, using science to its fullest. The show's author, Richiro Ingaki, has the entire history of humanity's scientific advancements to draw upon, so he shouldn't run out of ideas anytime soon. Senku, like many young boys and girls, dreams of flying to space, escaping our terrestrial home of Earth and exploring the outer solar system and eventually the universe. This goal propels his want to rebuild society from the ground up. In doing this, however, the show teaches us to respect where we came from by showing us how hard it was to get where we are. Science has captured the minds of humanity for thousands of years, and through hard, diligent work, humanity has gone from living in caves to being able to convert any environment to a habitable place, even space. Humanity, using the plants, grasses, liquids, and minerals of the Earth, has dominated the planet, and all of this is because of science. So next time you see a colorful rock, or an interesting plant, or even a cool electronic device, take a second to find out what it is or how it works. Then you too can be a part of the steady, pain-in-the-ass effort that is science. I've been Exister, and if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, as I will be making more content in the future. If you have anything to add, like the show, or even just want to say hi, leave a comment and I'll be sure to reply. Thanks for watching.